On the Monday, August 19 installment on Good Morning America, the former NFL star was absent from his usual spot on the desk, which was manned by his co-anchors Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos. Support this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, plus Eva Pilgrim, Deborah Roberts, and Will Reeve were also present. The athlete-turned-TV host was busy over the weekend with Fanatics Fest in New York City, a first-time sporting extravaganza hosted by Fanatics founder Michael Rubin. The billionaire, also known for his annual star-studded White Party in the Hamptons. In addition to Michael, who spoke on a panel, Tom Brady, Mike Tyson, Peyton Manning, Gayle King, Jay-Z, Alex Earl, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were others in attendance. It's a busy time for Michael, who with the end of the summer is gearing up to have his twin daughters, Sophia and Isabella, head back to college for their sophomore year. While Sophia should be heading back to Duke University in North Carolina by the end of the month, it is also a poignant time for the family, as they near the first anniversary since Isabella was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, the most common type of cancerous brain tumor in children, back in October of last year. Isabella had just started her first year at UCLA, when after experiencing some headaches, she was eventually rushed to emergency surgery after doctors found a tumor in the back of her head. She subsequently went through months of chemotherapy at Duke Children's Hospital and Health Center in Durham, North Carolina, and concluded her treatment earlier this summer. Though it's unclear where Isabella stands with her studies since having to step away amid her cancer battle. In a previous update on her YouTube, where she documented much of her journey, she mentioned heading back to UCLA, where classes begin in the middle of September. Isabella first announced her cancer diagnosis in a joint GMA interview with her father and his longtime co-host Robin. "I didn't notice anything was off till probably like October 1, she said at the time, noting that her first symptoms were simply headaches, though it then evolved into nausea and she couldn't walk straight. After, Michael promptly encouraged her to go to the doctor and have a round of tests done. They discovered a fast-growing 4-centimeter tumor, larger than a golf ball, in the back of her head. She has since had 2 surgeries to remove it." Michael also shared, "I don't really remember much," adding, "I just remember trying to figure out how to get to La ASAP. And it just doesn't feel real. It just didn't feel real." The best-selling author's absence went unexplained at the start of the show, but instead, Lindsay Davis keeping his seat warm. Support this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. While George hasn't shared any details of his whereabouts on social media, it's likely that he's taken some time off to spend with his family, ahead of his daughter's return to college for the fall term. The doting dad shares Elliot, 21, and Harper, 19, with wife Allie Wentworth, and Allie recently had a message exchange with George's co-star Lara Spencer concerning a Nashville meetup, where Harper studies. That's because Lara's daughter Catherine attends the same college, Vanderbilt University, as Harper, and they made reference to seeing each other there soon. The Go Ask Allie podcast star had shared a photo of herself foraging on Instagram, resulting in Lara writing, "We love to dig for treasure, in the mud, through flea markets. You name it. We dig it. Can't wait to see you in Nash." The family are incredibly close and have enjoyed spending quality time together during the summer months. Along with an apartment in New York City, they also have a beautiful house in the Hamptons, where they have spent the majority of the weeks. Allie is more active on social media than her husband and recently shared a glimpse inside their beachside property in a relatable post. She had chosen to upload a picture of the property's porch, which had been taken over by one of their daughters and a bunch of her friends. On the floor, multiple pairs of shoes were spread out across the floor in the otherwise pristine home. "I guess a few girls slept over," Allie wrote in the caption. The photo also gave a glimpse into the property itself, which was decorated beautifully, complete with a side table with a bunch of coffee table books stacked neatly on top of it, and a jar filled with shells. There was also artwork decorating the area. The house boasts 5 bedrooms, 6.5 bathrooms, along with a media room, games room and basement, complete with 1,000 bottles of wine. The garden, meanwhile, also features a swimming pool and tennis courts. The couple previously listed their property for $5.995 million back in February 2018, but decided to take it off the market. George and Ali have been married since 2002, and they opened up about the beginning of their love story during a book signing in Sarasota back in 2012. "I didn't care about politics and figured he'd be the last person I'd be interested in," Ali said. "I was holding out for Hugh Grant or Matthew Perry." After agreeing to go on the blind date to please her friend, Ali realized that she had a lot in common with George, even ordering the same meal, a crab salad, and proceeded to talk for hours. George told New York Times, "You know how when you go on a date and the first 15 minutes are on automatic pilot? About 15 minutes in, she just leaned in and said something, and we were suddenly in another place, in another universe immediately. We went from strangers to friends to being in love in days." The morning news show welcomed Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star and actress Garcelle Beauvais on the show, and she decided to throw a curveball to the TV star. Support this channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Watch Michael and Garcelle's hilarious exchange below that left the former blushing, and even got a rise out of his co-anchor George Stephanopoulos. The moment was shared on their Instagram page as well, amid Garcelle discussing some of her ill-timed escapades with dating apps and her relationships, and fans quickly began to ship the two as a couple and many commented on the adorable exchange. One wrote, "Is it just me, or do they make a striking couple? Can someone play Cupid, please?" With another adding, "They would look great together," and a third saying, "Michael was speechless this morning. The blushing tickled me." Last week as well, George got a dig in at his co-anchor about his love life while presenting a segment on the show about couples opting to have guests at their wedding pay to attend. Before the story began, George confidently leaned back and started off with, "Michael is paying close attention to our next story. It's our GMA cover story on how couples are cutting costs on their wedding by selling tickets to the wedding." Crew members in the studio and Lindsay Davis, who was subbing in for Robin Roberts that day, began giggling as well as B-roll played, and Michael turned to George, unable to contain his own laughing fit. "Explain it all, Ariel," George said, turning the attention over to their correspondent Ariel Reshef, who quipped back, "I'm staying out of that one. I don't know what that is." Michael has been married twice before, although we assume he didn't ask his guests then to pay for either wedding. He was married to Wanda Hutchins from 1992 to 1996, with whom he welcomed children Tanita and Michael Jr. from 1999 to 2007. He was married to Jean Mugli and welcomed twin daughters Isabella and Sophia with his ex-wife. Between 2009 to 2014, he was engaged to Nicole Mitchell, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. But since 2016, he has been dating Kayla Quick, who has forged a close relationship with Michael's daughters and supported Isabella through her cancer journey. Garcelle, for her part, has also been married twice before, first to producer Daniel Saunders. They tied the knot in 1991, but were divorced by 2000, welcoming a son together, Oliver, the year they got married. In 2001, the Real Housewives star then married Mike Nilon, a talent agent with CAA, and they welcomed twin sons Jax and Jade in 2007. However, she filed for divorce from him in 2010 when he revealed he had been having an affair for years, and it was finalized by 2011.